I was muted. Good day, everyone. This is Juanita Kapp from the Meticulous Moments podcast. I started this podcast in 2020. And what do we facilitate here? We facilitate community upliftment through leadership development. And what better vehicle to do that than the martial arts? I see the martial arts transforming our future. I see it transforming lives. Shout out to all my martial arts family from across the globe. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the hard work that you put in. Sometimes we don't even realize all the blood, sweat, and tears that happen behind the scenes, but we are all working together towards the same goal. And that is to bring upliftment, to build people, to give them confidence, to build their character, and to teach them those wonderful core morals and values and principles. And a lot of the time, guys, we don't realize it, but we can take those principles from the martial arts and we can apply them in every part of our daily lives. And I think that is what makes martial arts so special. Martial arts saved my life. It changed my life. It's become a lifestyle. And I have two wonderful individuals here, one of my favorite couples in the whole world, and that is John and Lucy Olivier. And they are here today to share their story. So let's welcome them. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Hi.
Hello.
Good
How you
morning.
doing? Good morning.
Good morning. You are such a blessed couple. Lucy, may I just say you're such a beautiful, beautiful lady, and it's so amazing to see you guys doing this together as a couple. Would you guys take turns and tell the audience a little bit about yourselves?
You want to go?
Go ahead, Lucy.
Well, I got into the martial arts after I got out of the army. I served in the army for a few years, and so after that, actually, my brother had been taking martial arts from John when he was 17 years old. So it had been a while, and I had seen him doing all these things and met John that way. And then after getting out of the military, which was phenomenal for me to really change my life, because I was kind of a indirected person before that. And then going into the military gave me the discipline and follow with leadership, and discovered really more of my talents because I turned out to be a very good heavy equipment diesel mechanic.
Wow,
And I really, really liked that.
You're such
So
a
after that,
badass.
so like I said, I was finding out all the different things that I could do, and it really helped improve me, my personality. So when I got out and started with the martial arts, I was looking for that kind of leadership and self-development and encouragement. So, and I was also in high school. I was I was a cheerleader and being in God, I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous. I'm not used to being interviewed. I'm a very quiet, kind of private person. I communicate mainly with animals, and
Oh, I
so
love
I'm a
it.
little bit of a,
You're doing
So
very
I'm
well.
sorry if I get distracted.
You're doing very well. Please
She
continue.
Well,
was also a gymnast. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a gymnast, so I liked the precision of the katas and the martial arts as far as precision. So I have a very picky, keen eye on doing things correctly and bringing out the personality of the martial artists when they're doing their katas and forms. But and so anyway, I loved martial arts. I didn't get into the martial arts till I was in my early 30s.
Yeah.
And so I just sucked it up and went with it. So, but it was a good lifestyle for me because my word and the standards of the military and the standards of the martial art creeds were right there in my heart, and I live by those things every day.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm going to delve into that a little bit as well. John, please tell us. your background.
Excuse me, I didn't hear that. What did you say?
What is your background? Share with the audience a little bit about how you
Oh,
started. Why?
sure. I mean, why I started is kind of an interesting thing because, as I said before, my parents, they were prisoners of war in World War II. They were captured by the Germans.
Oh,
And so uh, what happened to them is when the United States of the Americans came into Germany to bomb it, they escaped at that time. And they escaped to the underground and whatnot. And I'm not going to go into a lot of details with it, but so anyway, I was born in France, in the southern part of France, in a city called Toulon. And in 1944, uh, there was a liberation, or was called peace. And so my father, he was kind of a little scared still. So when I was 5 years old, he decided to basically leave France and seek for freedom. And so the way he did it was to get on a ship, and it was a freighter ship, and wherever the freighter ship would stop, uh, would we go out there and live there for 2 3 weeks, whatnot. So to make a long story short, eventually we ended up into the United States in New York. That was we immigrated there in New York, and I used to play in the park a lot, get beat up by gangs or whatnot. I would hide in bushes so that they won't see me. And one day, while I was being beat up, there was an Asian man that came to my rescue, and he says to the kids, "Hey, why are you doing this?" Oh, they go, "Who you think you are? What are you going to do about it?" And so he kind of looks around, grabs a rock, picks the rock up, breaks it in half. And what happens? They flee. They were scared from that, and he told me, "Would you like to learn karate?" And I said, "Well, what's karate?" And he explained, and I started learning from him. Little did I knew he was a world-renowned master. So in 1956, he was traveling all over the country, and his name is Matsutatsu Oyama, which I learned the first form of art called Kushinkai. And so that's how I got started. And then from then on, I had many instructors, and I learned different styles: Aikido, Judo, uh, Jiu-Jitsu, Karate, and that's that's the beginning of my life right there.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so cool. Like, I'm so blessed to be in this room right now because I'm sitting with two legends. I listened to how you started and why, and I actually got goosebumps because the content that you shared, it really speaks to my heart. Lucy, I know that you're more a one-on-one type of person, and you love animals, and I just want to say you've spoken that out. You've given that to the audience so well, and I'm with you on the animals. I mean, I spoke to John the other day about this little kitten that I saved, and I heard you guys also have little kittens that you save and you nurture your animals, your horses. And I think what I really appreciate about the martial arts, and I'm sure you guys will feel that as well, is it's as if it connects us to this energy, not just with other people but with nature and with the universe. And people used to separate those two, but I always tell people our spirituality and the science behind how God created us and how energy works, that's all together, it's all intertwined. And I said to someone, I was a pastor for 15 years, and I led worship services. I think I had 3 Sundays off in 15 years. I loved going and preaching, and if I had the weekend off, I would go to another church and do a worship session there or just attend. But the same energy I felt while experiencing God and while getting spiritually nourished, I felt that on the mat as well. And it's not different things, it's together. We are spiritual beings. But very interesting to hear your background, Lucy. You from the army, being a diesel mechanic. I mean, you've been an athlete all your life, so it's almost like everything became full circle when you went to the dojo and started training. And I'm so happy that you mentioned you only started in your 30s, because I only started in my 30s. I wasn't allowed as a child to do it. Those days it was for boys and men. And that I'm happy that you mentioned that, because there's many people out there that don't know they can start at any age. So guys, you can start at any age. If you're in the audience and you've always wanted to do martial arts, just go find yourself a dojo. I'm so happy to hear what John said about how he started, because it's almost like it's almost like martial arts found both of you. John, it wasn't coincidence that you were on that playground that day and that the master just was there. There's no such thing as coincidence. Everything works together. And it's just wonderful to hear that he took you under his wing. And you mentioned something, John. You mentioned that you train in different styles. And that's what I love about MAM. That's what I love about what the group is doing, because we're all different senseis, kiyoshi, sifus, masters that come together, and we teach each other different things from our styles. It's good to have that foundation. Now, a lot of pressure goes with martial arts. There are times that we're under pressure, maybe on the mat at the nationals or a tournament. How important, I want to ask for you, each of you, to answer, how important is it to learn through the martial arts to have that peace and calm so that you can perform well under that pressure?
Yeah, the thing that people in general don't realize about martial arts is that they think that it's all about kicking butt, but it's not, because there is a lot of beauty to the martial arts. And a lot of martial artists, masters, grandmasters, they have sidekicks. They could be a guitarist, they could play a flute, they could play clarinet, there could be an artist. So there is other things besides martial art, but what that does is just brings everything together. Spiritually, respect, honor, those kind of things. So there's more to it than just the martial arts.
Well, I was going to add to that. The martial arts also helps with focusing.
Oh,
and
yes.
I did compete. I competed one time in a tournament, and I got so nervous I actually went blank, and he was the center judge, and I was embarrassed, and I knew my stuff, but I realized that martial arts isn't just about competition with others.
Yes, right.
And I felt that it's more about competing with yourself as far as the discipline within yourself to bring the beauty of the martial art out. And then becoming a way of life. It's not about I'm better than you and all that kind of stuff. So I really didn't get into tournament stuff very much, and I don't want to hurt anybody as far as fighting. I will kick your ass if I have to, but I don't want to put wounds on someone just for fun. And I don't have a hot temper unless you push me to that point. But so yeah, I just felt like the martial art was more of a beauty and an interdevelopment of your spirituality. And so from that too, well, I'm also a Reiki master teacher, so I have, consideration for the body.
Yes.
And so I'm more of a peaceful person. I'm more like a shaman with everything else in, with all of the different styles of spirituality, different, Buddhists and Christians and you name it, Jewish, anything that is a beautiful thing to bring into your life, I'm all about it.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I'll tell you why. And you guys are both completely 1000% correct. People think we go there to fight and to learn how to hurt people. And yes, we do. I mean, there's different ways that we can hurt people. But guess what? The true martial artist will always try and calm down whatever discrepancy there is, or if there's, anger rising, and they will rather try and dissolve the situation and walk away than really go over to the fighting part. But it's like you said, Lucy, if they push us in a corner, we are going to, protect ourselves, and we do know how to do that. I'm a very calm person. I have a calm demeanor about myself. I guess it's because I was spiritually working all those years with people. You get to a place where that peace just surpasses your understanding, and you just have that knowing that people are important, and that we have to see past certain temporary things. We have to have a good outcome in the future. So a lot of people meet me, or they know me, and then they hear that I do martial arts, and they say, but you're always so calm, you're always so placid. And that's how I like that energy. I don't want to be anxious all the time and angry and upset. And that's what martial arts did that for me, because it wasn't always like that. But martial arts gave me that peace and calm, that assurance. And, you guys do Reiki, and I spoke to John about Qigong. Please tell the audience, because a lot of people don't know about Reiki and Qigong. Reiki energy from outside, like you taught, John, and Qigong energy from inside. I have a Qigong coach, Coach Marvin King, and he's taught me Qigong. And then something I want to mention before you answer, Grandmaster Eric Lee, I want to give a shout out to him, because he always teaches me, and you make me think of that, you guys. He always says, if you learn how to hurt, you need to learn how to heal. And that's what Reiki and Qigong does. So please, both of you, elaborate on the Reiki, the Qigong, and any talking points that you would like to.
Well, I was going to just say real quick, actually, Eric Lee was one of my students in Reiki.
Oh, he's awesome. I love him. That's cool.
Well, yeah.
He's my mentor.
Well, actually, when I first started to do like healing, I did acupuncture and qigong, but when I did the qigong, it's your internal energy that comes from the qin. The qi comes out, and you do the healing. And so I did one with Lucy when she got hurt real bad, and I did qigong and acupuncture with her. And later on, as we were dating at the time, then we got married, and she learned Reiki from a teacher, and I went to myself, Reiki, what the heck is that? And so she explained to me what it was, and it's a universal light force that comes from the universe, and Reiki has like its own intelligence. It goes to where it's needed for healing. So to compare the Qigong and Reiki, Qigong is you're forcing the energy to heal. But it's not the same thing. It's totally different. I'm going to have her explain a little bit about it.
Well, I was just going to say, I always knew when I was a child that I was a little bit different. I was sensitive. And one day I saw this movie where a woman, she was a healer, and she hugged this person and to do healing with her. But it struck a chord in me going, that's what's going on in me. I have this energy, and I didn't know what to do with it or how to channel it. The other thing too is we're all intuitive. We're all built with all these sensitives. And so really that kind of started me realizing that I was a little different, that I could sense things. And so when I found out about Reiki, I go, that's it. That's what I'm doing. So I did learn from a teacher. And so the Reiki itself is passed through a master level teacher. Should be a master level teacher that knows how to do the attunement. And an attunement is a spiritual ritual where you are energizing that wave of energy to be channeled through you
Yes.
on when you ask for it. It comes in, but it also will come in automatically because when you're a healer, the thing about the Reiki is it is chi energy, and without
Mm-hmm.
chi energy, you're dead. So I always look at the energy to like filling up your car with gasoline
That's
because
right.
that's what makes it move. And so um, anyway, and then it just develops. And once you become Reiki, you never lose it. It is something that's always there for you. And because I've done a lot of studies where I've seen other contraptions that you have to plug in, haul it around, this and that. But with Reiki, you have it in your hands and your
Mm-hmm.
intention.
Mm-hmm.
It's always there for you. And so
Wow.
I've done a lot of Reiki on animals and people, and to prove to myself this does work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
here's another thing. Here's another thing that I could say about that is like we've experimented, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so chi is a constant thing that goes through us. It's energy, and sometimes chi gets blocked. And even though you when you do the needles like acupuncture, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get healed
Mm.
because what happens? The chi is dammed, right? So if it's dammed, the needles are not really going to work.
Mm.
So when we apply Reiki to that, then the two marry each other and then
Yes.
it creates the healing.
That's right.
So it was interesting when we did that.
Yeah, because Reiki gets rid of cell memory, and I'd be working on people, and I'm an empath, so I can sense
Mm-hmm.
what's going on in the person's body. I cheat a
That's
little bit,
good.
and I'll say something is going on in your head, or something has gone in your head, and they'll say, "Oh no, I'm fine." And then later they'll go, "Oh, you know what? 20 years ago, I did fall out of the back of a pickup truck and hit my head
Mm-hmm.
really bad."
Yeah.
So that's still there. And then when they come back again for, say, another treatment, I don't feel that anymore because it's left. It just
Mm.
goes out into the universe and
That's
releases
right.
itself. But
Yeah.
I teach my students that we all have this capability. We're all
Yeah.
born with it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a matter of learning how to use it. And
That's right.
so when that happened to me, it gave me such a big sense of confidence because I realized that I have something that I could help other people feel good about themselves
Mm.
and help their health. And
That's
so
right.
Reiki heals on a spiritual, mental, and emotional and physical
Yeah.
level. And
Yeah.
you can there's a lot of things you can do with Reiki that is amazing because I always teach my students that we're kind of like alchemists. We are the
Yes.
wizards.
Yes.
We have this
Really.
energy that we can send because you can
Mm-hmm.
send Reiki. I send Reiki to people in Hawaii for healing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all very mental energy that just goes out, and the animals they know and understand it because I've worked on
Yes.
horses that you couldn't even touch or go
Mm.
into the corrals with it. Owners would hand me the halter and go, "There it is, good luck." And so I would have to slowly go in there, beam the energy to the animal, and you could see it relaxing and dropping its head or breathing. And then
Mm.
I can get closer, and the animals understand this
They do.
energy. And then they will, I go to rescue places, and they will start lining up
Yeah.
behind the horse I'm working.
They're waiting for
So
their
for
turn because they feel it.
so
Guys,
it's amazing what you could do with it.
you're definitely a master at it, and the way that both of you articulated that, I'm so happy about that because it in a way that people out there that do not know or maybe haven't come across Reiki, maybe they've heard of it before, but they haven't really, the essence, know the essence of what it does. They will understand how it works, and a lot of the things. I'm sure there's a lot of people. I know it resonates with me. It's not, and I want to add that, and you guys will, I'm sure you guys will agree that it's not easy to be an empath like that and to feel people's energy Because when I used to be in the church, I was a very young pastor. I was still doing my practical years. I would walk into the church and I'd be on my way to the pulpit to start preaching, and I would feel all these different emotions on the way there, and I never understood, is it me? Am I feeling all these different things in that little pathway? And then I started to realize when I started touching people and praying for them, because in the full gospel church we lay our hands on people. I started realizing what it was. It wasn't me. I was feeling what they were feeling. And at first I didn't know how to handle it, but I learned how to separate myself from it, but also how to what direction to pray in, because energy is, you can't disperse of energy. You can let it move places, but you can't annihilate it. It goes somewhere else. Like you said, it leaves the body. Yes, we can send that out, but we have to replace it where, from the years that I've done it, you have to replace it with something good, something positive, something uplifting. And it's so crazy that, and you guys will know, when you meet people, I can meet people and it's almost as if I understand them before I really started knowing them. I sense what they're feeling. I can almost, as if I understand how they think. And that's all energy. And like you said, everybody has that. We just have to tap into that source. We just have to tap into that knowledge, because wielding that, you guys are using that for healing. And that's so wonderful. You're helping people out there to face the things. Very important that both of you mentioned is the holistic part of it. You can't just do the spiritual or just the physical or just the mental. It has to be a combined holistic approach, because we are made up that way. We have a soul and a spirit and a body, and we must be in alignment with ourselves and with the universe and with our energy. Now, if there's people out there about the chi, let's talk about chi. How, if they feel like their chi is misplaced or stuck, or how do they get that chi to flow? Because it has to flow. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I tell my partner to just rub my back, because I feel there's energy stuck there. And it sounded very odd in the beginning, but he understands now, because I feel like something's that I want that flow. So tell people out there, how do they get that chi flowing? How do they balance that energy?
Well, I was just going to add that some people, well, not some people, one way is through meditation.
Ah,
But
yes.
when you do Reiki, Reiki is more of like the fast lane into the recovery.
Good.
So, uh, yeah, because when I do Reiki on a person, first off, I teach them what the aura is, that they have an aura, they have an energy field. So I have dowsing rods, because I also want to teach the scientific part of it, not just
Mm,
the woo-woo spiritual stuff that
that's
people go, oh
right.
yeah, right. So I like to prove to my students, I say, I'm going to share with you my experience, but you have to go out and experience it yourself to make it real with you, and not, I am not, your leader type thing,
Yeah.
So what I do with the dowsing rods, I have the student sit there, or the client sit there, and I go towards them, and when it opens, it shows me where the line of their aura is, but it shows them, because when you're, then after I do an energy work around their body to release what's sticking, because things can stick to your aura like lint
Mm,
on a sweater, or you
mm,
pick up people's emotions and that you carry it around with you. So the aura cleansing is a cleansing. And so after the treatment, when I measure again, it will have grown like 4 to 6 feet to show the expansion of the energy. And also, when you do that, the Reiki goes in your body like oxygen, and
mm.
it opens up the blood vessels. It relaxes the muscles. It calms your mind. So after I do something like that, whether it's a full body Reiki treatment or an aura cleanse, you should see their faces. They become more color in the face. They're talkative, or they'll cry because they have to release that. And even with horses, when you do it with colic, the horses, they'll go drink, they'll go eliminate,
Yeah.
they'll want to eat. All of a sudden, the body becomes more awake and alive and things are flowing, which can increase the healing. So when I talk about martial artists, when they do the fighting, they really should get a Reiki treatment, because when you hit, it's like he talks about the Denmark. When you hit,
Yes,
you can block the energy.
that's right.
So you really should get into something where you're smoothing out the energy so it can start to flow. And then that's your body and you are what do the healing, not necessarily the practitioner.
Yeah, and then I teach my students some exercises to develop their chi and energy. And the first thing I want to do with them is teach them how to comb the aura. So
Mm.
like Tai Chi, you practice Tai Chi, but also in practicing Tai Chi, let's say this is my arm, right, and I'll just go like this, and then shake. I go like this, then shake. So what you're doing is you're taking the impurities of your aura out and throw it to the ground, to Earth, Mother Earth.
Yes,
See, so you're grounding yourself.
clearing.
So you're doing that after doing that to all limbs, your body, your center part, your head, everything. Uh, you feel good,
Mm-hmm.
like wow,
Wipe
this
the
is a
tears.
release. It feels like it feels like breathe, then let it out. So the good thing in meditation is to breathe from the nose and then go ah. So what does a feel like? It's this relaxation, right? You breathe in, go ah. Yeah, it's the vibration too. So that's what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. So
That is great.
what you're doing, you're also developing a greater chi within your own self.
But you were talking about being an empath, and a lot of people are like afraid of it. I've been with Reiki people that don't want to touch the person. But
Huh.
for me, touching the person is one of the most uh, loving from the
Yes.
heart that you can give someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
A hug, a touch. And I also feel like when you're an empath, actually, it's another gift that you have, because it makes you more effective as a
Mm.
healer. So when
Amen.
I feel like something's still there, I'll still work on that. And
Yeah.
then, well, and it's just like when you're an empath. The other day, I had two women come for an aura cleanse, and I started getting nauseous in my stomach, and I
Oh.
knew it wasn't me. So when they
Mm-hmm.
came, I could tell your stomach is off, isn't it?
Mm.
That type of a thing. And
Right.
so you can use the empathic talents that you have as a gift and make you a better healer.
That is so
Even with
incredible.
the horses.
Even with
The
the
horses. Do you
animal.
know how many horses I have? When
Uh-uh.
I've worked on horses, how many have headaches and
Oh,
stress in the head?
I get it.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
I
And
love
even
it.
even that cat even that cat that we got, I did Reiki on him,
Oh,
and the next day he was like personality change,
oh,
because he had
thank
been lost.
you.
Yeah, he had been lost and was on his own, so he was stressed.
Oh my goodness, we don't realize it's about the animal. And I always tell people, if you want to know if someone has a good intention or a good energy about them, maybe you don't feel it. Look at when that person visits your home, how your animals react around that person. Because animals feel energy from people, they do. And they're never wrong. They are very, very in tune with the spiritual. People don't realize how smart animals are. I adopted my fiance and I adopted a little puppy last year. Someone had just taken him. Oh, I think he was 4 or 5 weeks old. He was still tiny, and they threw him out of a truck. And the person that we were
Oh,
working at the person's shop, and he brought the little puppy. He said, "Juanita, I've got a little dog for you." He couldn't see, he couldn't hear. I guess he had an impact on his head. And, my fiance was like, no, we can't keep him because he's got special needs. He can't see and he can't hear. I said, no, 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 we're keeping this dog. I don't want a breed dog. I said, I'm going to pray for him. So what I did is I took energy every day and I put my hands on him and I prayed for him. There's nothing wrong with his sight. There's nothing wrong with his hearing. And he's grown to be a beautiful, beautiful dog because We just need to understand how that energy works in the churches. Whether you're out there in the audience and whether you believe in one thing or something else, let me tell you, everything is energy. And when you are the vessel, like Lucy and John has taught, and you have energy in you, so that energy that you have transfers, and you just need to learn how to do that, and always make sure to put out good energy. Because I am a firm believer. I stand up every morning, I get up, and I say to myself, it's going to be a great day. I'm going to make it a great day. And I ask the universe, I say to the universe, surprise me today with great things. What great things going to happen today? And then the universe answers. Something amazing happens because I put that intention out there.
That's what I try to teach my students, to look for it. The animals talk to you. A butterfly flying in front of you, or there's meaning in everything. And once you connect with that, your flow of energy for the day in your life is so much better. You and I have a lot in common. I can see that.
I'm honored to hear that. I'm honored to hear that because I really look up to you guys. You do a lot of good things out there, and I really feel that we need to celebrate those wins. You guys helping people so much. You being in the animal kingdom and doing the good things out there. We have to, as the world, we have to start understanding each other and our environments. I think the world would be a much better and peaceful place if people started to look into these practices, Reiki and Qigong, and if they got an understanding. Because for my thing with the church for the years, where they always tried to separate religion, and I don't believe in religion, I believe in relationship, but they always separated religion with energy and science. And I keep telling them, no, it all goes together. It all goes together. You can't put things in little boxes. That's not how the universe works. So I try to teach in my years there that people need to start opening their spiritual eyes, I'd say, or opening those channels. I was standing at my MAM Hall of Fame last year, and I can't remember. I think it was Grandmaster Gambardella. He wanted to take a photo of Grandmaster Jesse Bowen and I. And we didn't coordinate any of this, right? So we went, walked a little bit forward, and he was ready to take the photo. I think it was Grandmaster Ted, but the person that was standing there was going to take the photo. And without even thinking about it, we turned our backs to each other and we went into a pose, exactly the same pose. And we did it at exactly the same time. And the moment our arms went down, I just felt, it was like this energy just went like, and I looked at Grandmaster Bo and I said, did you feel that, Anshi? And he was like, that's energy. So we didn't realize it's everywhere.
I had that same experience with a horse that had been abused, the one I was saying that you couldn't touch.
Yeah.
After a second treatment, that the mare and I were in deep healing mode at that time, and I was standing next to her. And all of a sudden, there was this big crack, like lightning, and you could hear it, you could feel it. And I jolted, and the mare jolted, and we all kind of went like that for a minute. And then she took her neck and wrapped it really tightly around me and squeezed me to her body. I wish I had that on camera, but it was like what you're saying.
Yeah.
It was tremendous. And you never know what to expect when you're doing healing with animals or people.
That's right. Fantastic. I think she was giving you a hug because I think she wanted to keep you close. Yeah. Animals are so amazing. And I wanted to ask John as well. John, I've been thinking about this thing now, this record that you broke with all that layers of ice. I've been looking at that, and I've been thinking about it, and that's got to do with your chi, I'm sure. Because tell me a little bit more how you did that. That was tell the audience what it was and how you prepared.
I was there.
She was there.
Oh,
I was there when
you saw that. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had been in karate for 3 months when he did that.
That is so
and
cool.
we did it here in San Diego, and there was 15,000 people that showed up
Because
because we also had an event called the Dragon Boat Racing, and what they do is there's 22 people in rowboat, and they row 800 meters. But anyway, they asked me to do this ice break, and I said, well, okay, I'll do this ice break. So I said, well, if I'm going to do the ice break, I'm going to do a world record, right?
Wow.
So I gathered a lot of my black belts and students to carry the ice because each piece weighed 360 pounds. So I stacked 6 of them up.
he had one more to stack up, but the stack was so high, the guys couldn't lift the ice that high.
That's crazy. Wow.
So anyway, we have the ambassador of
That is so
Singapore
cool.
there, the mayor of San Diego, a lot of dignitaries.
Yeah.
And so I got up to where the ice is, and I meditated a little bit, maybe 2-3 seconds.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah,
Because I was going to say how I saw it.
yeah. Okay, well, explain how you saw it.
Well, okay, so they're on a flatbed truck. The
Right.
whole stage is up on a flatbed, and they had the ice stack, and the mayor or whoever was talking, and I was looking at John. He's just sitting over there on, kneeling down,
Yeah.
just sitting there like, And then when it was his time, then he got up and he just walked over there, didn't you put a little
Napkin, yeah.
little napkin on top of the ice there, and he just stood there for a minute, went 1, 2, and then boom, that was it. The ice just dropped. It
Incredible.
was just like nothing. It was like he
Slice
was so
and bread.
relaxed when he got up there and did it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Here's one more thing that I could say, which people don't know about this, but what happened was in that year, my brother was murdered, and then I had to come up and do this, and so my mind had to be clear too, because here I am thinking about my brother being murdered, and then having to do this feat as well, So
Goodness. Took a lot of
and
focus.
there's a lot of focus there. So his murder was one of the biggest cases ever in the state of California that convicted the murderer without a body, because his body was never found.
Oh.
So there's a big thing about that,
Wow.
But I'm not going to go into that right now.
You took that energy and I think a lot of it too is having that confidence and I would like to say letting it go. Like, the energy is there and now you trust the universe. Lucy mentioned that you were so calm and so cool about it. You walked up, you put your napkin down and you just went, like someone would be slicing bread or something, and there the ice went. And it's because you have that energy, both of you, about you. You've seen things, you've been through things, and you have that inner knowing. These things that you've conquered and faced, and help other people to conquer and face it. You've been there, you've done this. You have that confidence, you have that experience, you have that. In the church world, they would call it an anointing. In the martial arts world, we would call it that chi, or that energy. It's the same thing. So what is the standing world record for that now? You still have that record. I don't think they ever broke that, did they?
Yeah. Right, I still have the record. Nobody's busted it. Nobody broke that record yet. So that's 1983. And now, well, I'm going to be 82 years old, but I still do some breaking.
Fantastic.
I still break rocks and bricks and
but the breaking that he does is so above everybody. They just can't believe what he's doing, because when he breaks bricks with a sword, you would shatter that sword, but he just goes and taps it and they fall apart. And he does a lot of crazy stuff, and I'm kind of like his biggest fan, because I'm always challenging him.
That is so sweet.
Come on, show him out. Oh, yeah, I'm really bad.
Oh, that is so
He had to prove to me he had to prove to me all the stuff he could do when I met him because I said, yeah, B, right?
Yeah. In other words, bullshit.
You know what? I'm thinking, Lucy, I think he saw you that day with the ice break and he was like, I have to get this done because that's my girl. And he was like, just going there and doing it like that because
no,
like,
at that time,
Jesus.
no, at that time, no, we were both married to different people.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
How long have you been married now?
And so we've been married
30, almost 35 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
What is your
And to think I was in my mid-30s when we got together. Pardon?
Wow, 35 years, 35 years. I met a Lutheran pastor the other day, and he said, I have been married to my wife for 58 years. I said, my goodness. I said, how do you do it? And he was like, no, we have faith. We have faith in God. God guides our. So what is your secret to being married for 35 years? That's a long time.
Well, one of it is respect.
Respect.
We have respect for each other.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge thing. And then our personality. Yeah. I'm Portuguese, he's French, Russian, so hey, we don't mess around.
I can see that. John, what is the secret for you for 35 years? Respect and personality. That's Lucy's answer. I love that. What do you think?
Well, we joke and
yeah.
Sometimes there's a little quarrel, but there's no big deal, And
we have good conversation.
We just love life, and we love where we live. We're basically away from the city, so it's nice. And it's we love our animals, and we have a lot of commonalities. And sometimes I could read her mind. It's really weird, but she's thinking of something, and I said, "Well, did you want to do this?" And she goes, "How'd you know?"
yeah. He's very psychic. He's very intuitive, psychic, and so am I. So sometimes we don't even talk. We already know.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. You connected. Wow. Wow, that is incredible.
We're soulmates. We're soulmates. That's what beautiful. It is.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so
because
Continue. Yeah.
I was just going to say we have both been married a few times.
Yeah.
And so to get it right and to know you found the right person, real love and real connection.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, I don't do competition, but we did a lot of demonstrations, and that's where I had fun in front of people.
Say hi.
Hello.
This is Zoe.
Doggy. What's the doggy's name? Hello.
Zoe.
Zoe. I almost thought it was Goldie. Hello, Zoe. How are you? Zoe is on.
Goldie is the cat.
Goldie's the cat.
How did I?
He's not here right now.
Goldie. Yeah, I thought you said the dog's name is Goldie, and then but it's Zoe and the cat's Goldie. That's so cool. That is very cool. That's weird.
Cat is Goldie and Zoe is the dog.
And we have another feral cat that I've been working with for like 6 months or so, and we call her Xena.
Xena, strong name. Xena, she's a little warrior. She doesn't take nonsense. She's gonna make it. That's a warrior name. Hey, you guys, when I had Grandmaster Eric Lee on here, his doggy also joined the conversation. She was sitting on his lap, and she was, he was talking about how he loves animals too. So there's a lot of people out there that love their animals, that understand their animals. I want to, I don't know, Lucy, maybe you'll tell me. I did not teach my dog this, but I don't know, for some reason, I can go home. He wouldn't have seen me the whole day, right? And I would feed him, and then maybe I'd have something else I quickly have to do before going out and giving him attention. Do you know that dog will not eat that dinner I put down until I've given him some attention and rubbed his head? It's almost as if he's asking for permission. And I never taught the little guy that. I think he's so polite. I wonder
Exactly.
why
Zoe does the same thing. If I put no, if I they, you know what, they have what they want to do when they want to do it. So when I put food down for her, and she'll look at it, and sometimes she has to go outside and go potty first, or she wants water first.
Yeah.
Whatever, she has what she wants to do in line. So
Ah,
then when you take her out to go potty, and then you bring her in, then she'll eat. So your dog's doing the same thing. She wants or he wants the approval from you and the attention from you first. And yeah, you're right. It's respect and it's love.
so cute.
Yeah, and there's another funny thing too. Is Goldie the cat? He could be way down at the bottom of the ranch playing with the horse area, and I got this container of called Temptations.
Yeah.
So Lucy and I'd be at the porch having a glass of wine,
Yeah.
and I shake that thing, and boy, he just flies coming over to us, jumping over everything, gets to the porch. I want my Temptations.
Oh God, he's real long, and when he moves, he's like a big cheetah on the African safari.
He's coming to get
That's
you.
what with the animals.
You know, I always tell
Oh,
people
boy.
these little dogs always, they got an energy about them. They would take on any big dog because they believe they are fighters. I had this Yorkie. He would try and bite my big dogs all the time because he was the boss, and he was the boss, but he was tiny. He was little. He was a teacup. So we can learn a lot from them. It makes me think of that mirror image where the little cub is sitting, and you see him sitting there, but in the mirror there's this big lion. And I always think that's such a beautiful photo. I don't know who designed that, but it's so I just love it. Final question for both of you. What's the secret to a happy life?
Sure. You go first.
Wait, hey. I think I think a happy life is understanding who you are and what you're made of. Because once you know that, then you know how to handle anything and everything that comes towards you. And to have, if you are married, to have someone who believes and respects you, and you both work together to create that if you're a couple.
Beautiful answer. I agree with you 100%. John.
Yeah, a happy life is basically love for one,
Mm,
and respect each other,
mm.
and enjoy what you got, and not
Yeah.
boast about how great you are, whatever, or criticize somebody. That's no good, because what that does is just brings negativity. So
Mhm.
love, I think it's it.
And
That's the most important.
and a strong spiritual in your heart is the other big piece.
Some awesome wisdom has been shared in this session. I'm so grateful. I had a blast with both of you. And I agree with you, Lucy. I really think knowing who you are is very important. And I feel like martial arts give us that. It gives us that. And then what John said absolutely made me think of something my grandmother used to say. She used to say, if someone can't say something positive about someone else, then they'd rather not say anything at all. Just love people, be good, and put that good energy. And I feel like the both of you do that individually, but also as a unit. And I'm very proud of both of you. I know you even ride horses and do archery and all kinds of things. I mean, we'll have to definitely do another session because there's a lot more to explore. But I want to thank you for being on the show, and thank you for shining. Keep shining. I'm always praying for you, and I'll always be in your corner. And thank you just for everything. God bless you and us.
God bless you
And
too.
thank you.
Take care. Take care. Have a good day.
You too. Have a happy Sunday. Bye.
We
Happy
will
Sunday.
now. Watch
Bye-bye.
football.